I want to revisit the concept of intuitive eating because I recently was working with one of my clients and they have people around them that promote intuitive eating. And I think the first thing to be clear about is I want everyone to be an intuitive eater. I want you to be connected so well with your body and your experience that you can be intuitive about your eating. But I think deep down, I don't think a lot of what we're experiencing in life is intuitive. It's not intuitive to have food within 10 feet of you at all times. It's not intuitive to not have to walk around to do anything and everything's right there in front of you. It might seem that way because of the modern world, but this is not how we evolved. So a lot of what's happening is our signals, our abilities, our nature is being hijacked. It's being hijacked with things that happen online with the dopamine release. It's things with like creating unnecessary stress that wasn't there before. It's reducing the amount of the need to move around. It's making it so easy to have food that you don't even expend calories to get the food and to have the food. Just so much of what we're experiencing is not intuitive. And I appreciate the desire to be intuitive with eating. But I think there's a whole bunch of steps that happen before you can be intuitive. It's not intuitive to be sitting on your TV, in front of your TV, watching your favorite show and having this desire to go to the freezer and have some Haagen-Dazs. It's not intuitive to remember that you left one more piece of pizza in the fridge from your pizza date yesterday. These are just not natural experiences in nature. So what's happening is if you're looking for a natural response to an unnatural situation, it's hard because there's a mismatch there. Your skill set versus what's going on around you. And this is why I'm so big on controlling the environment around you, to doing the best you can to set yourself up for success by looking at the environment around you. But in order to be intuitive, you have to reconnect to your body. You have to reconnect to the experience of hunger. Like, do you actually know what it feels like to be hungry? Or do you feel a little bit of a pang of hunger and you absolutely immediately have to eat? Are you treating hunger as an emergency? Because it's never been an emergency for thousands and thousands of years. Because it wasn't an option to be an emergency. You're hungry, sure, but you had to go out and find it or forage it or hunt it, whatever it was. So even there, the first step, like the urge for hunger, something you have to reconnect with. Sitting with your hunger, understanding that, what's the different levels of hunger. Beyond that, moving around, how well does it feel to feel connected to your body? How good does it feel to be strong? Some people don't realize that. Realizing that you don't have to be in pain and achy every day. That people who end up exercising tend to feel less pain and less aches. Forget about what happens because of the workout themselves. Overall, moving around through the day, on a normal day, they don't feel any, or I should say, feel very minimal pain and discomfort. That's a reconnection. And it's hard to be so intuitive if you don't relearn that process. And this is why I push for tracking, because that gives you an idea of how many calories you should be ingesting to lose body fat, and then also when you want to maintain. But you need to be used to that, because maybe most people are used to having 3 square meals a day plus snacks, and it ends up being all these excess of calories. There's nothing intuitive about drinking your calories. Where in nature can you drink calories? It's all water. Right? So there's so much that is not intuitive about our experience that we're trying to remain intuitive throughout the experience, and it's difficult. And I've always been a proponent. When I first heard about tracking, I'm like, why do I need to track? Like, why can't I just naturally do that? And I want for everybody to be able to do that, but it is not that easy. I think there's a resetting period. You have to regain this connection to your body, about your hunger signals, about recognizing what portions are, how much you need to eat, about how it feels to be active, about ensuring that you are getting the adequate amount of activity. So in order to be intuitive, you first must regain that connection to yourself. And so many people are detached from themselves and are doing things throughout their day to subconsciously influence their body without realizing. Scrolling, eating, being quiet in a room by themselves, whatever it might be. There's so much that we're being disconnected from nature and from our experiences. So you need to get out into the sun. You need to make sure that you are aware of your nutrition. You need to get active. You need to recalibrate and reconnect to your body so that you can become more intuitive about what it needs. But there's a whole bunch of steps and there's a whole process before you can get there.